Hello everyone and welcome to the STAR mentoring program. I wanted to go over a new concept. Um, you've probably seen this before because it's from math. It's the order of operations. So I'm gonna create, let's just make this all, let's just start printing right now. Out.println, and we're gonna say 2 plus 3 times 2. Now, if we run this right now, um, some of you, I want you to think right now, what's the result we're going to get from this? Some of you might be saying 10, but the actual answer is going to be 8. And the reason why is because we have the order of operations, the PEMDAS, which you might remember, parentheses, exponents, what is it? Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and of course the division and multiplication are the same, and then addition and subtraction are the same. So yeah, you have the PEMDAS, right? So that order of operations means that this is going to be done before this. So that's why we get the result of 8 whenever we type this into our thing right here. So we can print out, we can do math like that, but let's say we wanted to override that order of operations. Just like in math, we could put parentheses around it, and now we'll get that result you might have expected of 10. So keeping in mind the order of operations is very important because you might have little problems, and it's very useful to have the order of operations. Another thing I just wanted to go over really quick is known as casting. So let's say we had an integer, and we're going to call it, how about num, and we're going to say, we're going to give a value of 3. And then we have a double, it just happens to be a double, and we're going to call it num, or, we'll call it dub, and we're going to give it a value of 5.0. So if we try adding these two, so let's go like this. We're going to go num plus dub. You're going to see this is going to work right here. Let's try a different one instead. Let's say, like when we had the math operator before, so let's say we wanted to square our number, right? So we go int squared equals math.pow, and then we have our num, and then we want to square it. So I'm going to put in 2. But you're going to see it's not a big fan of this. So in that previous video, I changed the type to a double, but what if we needed to keep it as an int for whatever reason? Well, I'm going to put it as an int, and what we can do in Java is what's called casting. And the way we do that is by putting parentheses before the number, and then we type in the type we want to cast it to. And you can't always cast numbers, but whenever you do this, you're basically saying, first we have this double, then convert it to an int, and then you're going to square it. Or not square it, yeah, it squares it first, and then it converts it to an int, because it starts as a double. And you see, that gives us 9. So if we put in double right here, this is actually going to, it's implicitly casting, I'm sorry. So yeah, this is a double right here, and this gives us 9.0. So you can see they're kind of different values. But if we have an int right here, you have to explicitly cast it because you lose some data whenever you go from an int, whenever you go from a double to an int, you lose all those decimal points. So that's the reason why we have to be like, okay, well, we're casting it as an int. So yeah, that is the basics of the order of operations and how you can cast numbers in case you're ever having issues with your numbers, you need to do something. But be careful with casting, and you can't always cast things. Like for example, let's say I had a boolean, and we had this. You can't say like boolean. You can't cast 3 as a boolean. Yeah, you cannot do that. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever you're casting. You can't always cast, but you can sometimes whenever you need to, usually between all the number types.